Hey, it's Claire, your intuitive reader. So, what I see here is I was preparing for this and I was like, okay, I'm going to deal with an issue that's coming up. And I'm going to see what comes out of the past lives deck to see what you might be dealing with right now. And what I got first was High Priestess or High Priest, forgiveness. And then you guys got Galactic and Higher Authority. Or authority figures. I don't know why I said higher authority. Maybe because of the galactic. But what I see here is with priest and priestess and authority figures, and then forgiveness and galactic. You know, these are both in the air. So you're thinking this is about forgiveness, thinking about something. Um, and so what I see here is something from like an issue with an authority figure or religion is really coming up. It is like really strongly. You felt very judged. You felt like somebody had control over the actual way you dealt with your own spiritual practice of how you connected with your higher power, how you connected with God. Like this was supposed to be between you and God. It was supposed to be this galactic connection, this like interdimensional, beyond time and space connection with you and your God, you and your beliefs, you and what brought you. And so you're having to kind of forgive yourself for going against this order, this religion, or these authority figures like parents, church higher ups, just authority figures in general. And the authority figures can even be siblings or partners. Anyone who has this kind of like great, like, because this picture to me, it isn't like the tarot card of the high priestess, or it's more of like a worship me sort of feeling, like being above others, like telling you that you are actually, one of God's children in these eyes, like they had this authority over you. And I like, again, the doves, I kept getting princes when doves cry, and those are the children. And so you always felt connected to some higher power, some way of being, but there was all this judgment, there was all these rules, this like horrible, like, no, my way is the only way, that you had to go against that. You had to go, you know find what fit for you, where you fit in the galaxy, where you fit in this equation. And you had to forgive yourself for moving away from this very authoritarian feeling, this higher than, like, well, if you don't follow these rules, then you'll be damned, or you will not be a part of this family, or you can't be in this relationship, or whatever it is, this job environment, this friendship. Even within yourself, you could not really be in resonance with yourself, so you had to forgive yourself for moving away from this. Or when you do, forgive yourself, because if it's not in alignment with you, this is your life. It is not anyone else's. And no matter how much someone judges you, at the end of the day, if you are okay with you and God are good, it doesn't matter. These are people that are creating themselves as false idols, and they're not. So, very interesting. So, to see what you guys are dealing with. So, I'm going to get a few tarot cards to clarify. Let's see. I hope you guys are doing well. It's really nice to see you. And if you've never been here before, it's really nice to meet you. Okay. Three of Cups. You're finding a community. Exactly. You're out there. You're feeling so alone. You were like, okay, I had to venture. I had to fly out of the nest, because more than forgiveness, it's like, well, maybe it was like, well, I'm leaving, or I'm not going to be in this part of this community or whatever. Maybe it was a religious group, who knows? But it was, you had to like flee the coop. You had to like be like, okay, I got to get out of here no matter what. And, get out of that nest. And you felt alone, like wandering here. But your community is coming in. See, like Galactic here, and this is going to be a higher vibing group. This is going to be a group that you really feel in resonance with. And I mean, I have this amazing collective, you guys. So I know it's out there. I know it can happen because before I started this channel, before I started doing this, online, I didn't believe it was. And now I really truly believe it is. Just because, I mean, think about that. The World Wide Web, it's just like these points of connection all over the world. And we can all connect to each other, which we've never been able to do in the history that we know of. So now we can. You could be friends with a community that's all the way over, like I'm always talking about Australia. I don't have any Australian friends, but except there are a few of you that are on the channel, and I would love to get to know you because I really do, as you can tell. Like koalas, just a little bit. It started off as one koala, and now it was like, oh, I was like, oh, I like koalas, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, you like koalas? Here's a koala pencil sharpener. Here is a koala pen. Here is a little, I have more. Here's a little koala. Here's another one, and more. And it's funny because when you put out the galactic call for community, you just never know what's going to show up. So accepting that and like being very careful, so they're telling you, these authority figures, that if you don't follow them, you're following the path of the devil. But the devil is that feeling of like you have to follow someone else when you know that it's not correct for you. It's wrong. So this is bull. This is like they're trying to control your mind by telling you that, your way of thinking is bad. And when in fact it's not, it's in resonance with you. So, sometimes we have to like move away from those situations, and that it's not always easy. But knowing there are other people like you, like if you're on here or you're watching this stuff, you're exploring, you are trying to find a way. So like, yep, 10 of Wands, you're having to move away from this. It's just not going to work anymore. And that's okay. You're, like I said, you're fleeing the coop. Yeah, you're like, nope, I'm done. If I have to go up this, this long path, and I have to move away from this, I will, because I can always see my lighted path, because you're following your true north. And you're moving into the High Priestess. Oh my gosh, like to have this card come out is really incredible, because before they were talking about how they are the high priest or priestess, and thinking that's what it is, like looking within themselves. But what they didn't realize, that you were actually the high priestess, and that meant that you were in alignment. That meant that you were following your true north. And I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer, so that's really interesting. And so this is incredible. I think you guys are doing great. Like, it is not easy, but it's a lot easier to move away from that authoritarian energy, that authoritarian way of being in life, when you realize that you are a star among stars. And when you reach out and you find your true soul tribe, it'll be like coming home. So I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Mwah. Bye.